Hey guys, welcome back to Phil Plays TCG. Today, we'll be going over the history of red leaders in the Dragon Ball Super Fusion World card game. I did a video previously going over the history of blue leaders, that's my favorite color to play, and I actually got a couple comments on Discord and on the video talking about, hey, maybe you should do more videos talking about the history of leaders, might be something fun to look at later down the line, or at least get some new players an idea of the history of the game who are just jumping into the game. So I was like, okay, sure, why not? And, there's quite a bit to talk about. So today we're going to be going over red. Let me know in the comments what color you want me to go over next, and let's hop into it. Well, beforehand, typical YouTube stuff. Like the video if you like it, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to see more content like this in the future. And remember to hit that hype button. It's YouTube's new thing where if you hit the hype button, hopefully the video does better in the algorithm. And yeah, more people can check it out and find the channel. I appreciate any and all support you guys are willing to give as we try to get this channel to 3,000 subs by the end of the year. We've got about a month and a half to hit about 220 subs. I think we could do it. Let's try it. But anyway. Now, talking about the leaders here. Of course, in Dragon Ball Super Fusion World's history, starting with Set 1, we had 2 set leaders in Set 1, Awakened Pulse, and 1 starter deck leader. The set leaders were Beerus and Son Goku. Now, of course, the starter deck was also Son Goku. And a lot of people really didn't like that. Basically, 2 out of the 3 leaders were just different forms of Goku. Yeah, that was kind of annoying, but all of these leaders did have their own specialty, which I really liked. Starting off with Beerus here. Beerus was a red board control deck, being able to control the board by minusing cost of characters, along with other cards in Set 1, namely God Destruction or Beerus cards, that basically would either wipe the whole board either by minusing everything on board or minusing huge amounts to a single character. Beerus was also one of the first leaders with crit, which we have seen not many leaders nowadays have that ability. It's not very popular. Beerus, to this day, is still fairly rogue. You will find a couple Beerus players in your regionals, and the deck is still pretty good if it's played by somebody who knows what they're doing. And if you're not prepared for it, Beerus can still be pretty solid. The starter deck leader was Son Goku right here, and this leader, when the decks first came out, everyone was kind of in assumption that this leader was probably the worst starter deck leader. It was not until later in the game's, in Set 1's meta, did people realize this deck, specifically the red starter deck Goku, was actually very good into the other competitive decks at the time, which were namely Green Gohan and Green Broly were 2 of the best decks to play, as well as Yellow Frieza. Now, this leader was just overall very good with its ability to buff one of your characters by 5k. It is a free, it was basically a free combo every turn, which did force your opponent to have to combo a little more than normal to get out of attacks. And the fact that you could use this on your battle cards, well, I'm sorry, it was only battle cards. It wasn't leader, never mind. In recent years, though, in recent metas, this leader isn't really seeing any play anymore. It's been power crept by other leaders, and you really are just going to see this as a fun deck, maybe at your locals, but overall, yeah, there's really no competitive viability with this leader anymore. And the last card, the last leader of the set was Son Goku, or U7 Goku. It is a deck that's entirely based around the Tournament of Power. You're going to see that as a trend here for red for a couple sets. Spoiler alert. This deck basically just focused on buffing. It was a wide buff to every single one of your U7 cards. It got a 5k buff. So basically, every single card got a power-up. So a card that was 10k, now is a 15. 15k to 20k. It was free real estate, free combo power that was just applied to all of your cards, and that was very oppressive. Now, the deck at the time of Set 1 was very Glass Cannon-like. So you could swing very big, but it didn't really draw a whole lot, and how you would beat the deck was basically you would starve it for resources, and once your your opponent didn't have any cards in hand, it was pretty much game over. Once they lost their board, it was game over. you really could not get around. You really couldn't survive with this deck. So you either had to win quick or lose fast. Right now, the deck still is rogue because there's been a lot of red Universe 7 or Tournament of Power cards. Specifically, U7 is the main term that they use for the main archetype for this deck. There's been a lot of Universe 7 cards printed. And the deck still is, like I said, rogue at best. But there's just better red leaders to play. Specifically, even Beerus gets more plays than Universe 7 Goku. So that is the first 3 leaders of the game. Like I said, I love the first set of Fusion World because there were so many leaders to play. There was so much diversity in the game. Yes, there were some of the best decks, like the green Gohan, green Broly, were the best. But then Frieza and this Goku here, and even Beerus as a rogue deck, were all great picks. Now we talk about the dark times. I tried to find some tournament graphs here, but I just couldn't find any, and I really wanted to get this video made. Basically, this is the set, set 2, Blazing Aura, that almost killed the game. And I feel like we're still trying to recover from this meta. Not Halo-Ku. Top-Ku, Tournament of Power Goku, was such an unbalanced, broken leader that most of the meta was just this leader. If you looked at top 8s, top 16s, 90% of the meta was this leader. There was no reason to play any other color. For the most part, there was even one regionals I remember where it was 15 of this leader and then 1 Beerus, red Beerus. So it was just insane. This leader was incredibly broken, being able to play cards for cheap that could play other cards, so you could build an incredibly wide board very quickly. And you knew what the deck would do. It had a particular playstyle. You knew how the deck would even try to finish you with dumping Glimpse of Power and then buffing your Ribrianne Double Striker to obscene high levels. You knew that was coming, but you still couldn't stop it because the deck was incredibly consistent, drew a lot of cards, and it was just so powerful. There were other decks that could compete with it briefly. There were some Zamasu from set 2, Blue Starter Deck Vegeta. There were some things that could compete against it if they saw everything they needed. If they saw the exact thing they needed on curve at the right time, you could possibly hold your own. But Top-Ku? Nah. If you played Top-Ku, you were a relatively good player, you would see great results with this. It was awful. There were people leaving the game in droves because of this leader. This was the first time, I have never been been playing a game where right off the bat, in set 2, not even 5 sets in, you had a leader that people were demanding to be banned. People wanted this leader banned because it was too good. Now, what ended up happening was they ended up banning 2 cards, limiting 1. So they hit 3 cards for this deck, and the deck fell off. The deck, they killed it. This deck could not play without those 3 cards being at, 2 of those cards and then 1 card being at full. They limited the Kefla, they banned the 1-drop Roshi, and they banned Ribrianne Double Striker. People still tried to make this deck work, but at the time, there was no way. After that, we saw a very good very good meta, the 2.5 meta, where a lot of different leaders came out, and the leader diversity was very good. It was actually a really fun time. But primarily, Blue did come back in and take some of the spotlight along with Green. But yeah, this leader, even today, it's gotten a lot of new support, new Tournament of Power stuff, and it's okay, but that's the best it's got. People have been demanding they unlimit Kefla, which might put this leader back up into a decent category. But overall, as it stands now, you're not going to want to play this leader. But yeah, everyone knows the horror of the Top-Ku meta. I had so many friends enter the game during set 2 and then leave before the end of set 2 because of this leader. It was a bad time. Next in set 3, we did have 2 leaders. The set 3 leader, which was Jiren, and then a starter deck leader, which was Son Goku Mini. Of course, during the time that Daima, was blowing up, Daima got announced. This came out even before the anime did, so we were just getting our glimpses of the Daima, characters and storyline, whatever. And these two were pretty cool in my opinion. Jiren, as you can tell here, is a 25k leader, so he's a big dude. He's a big boy. But he basically was able to be a defensive red control deck. He played cards that straight up just prevented him from taking double strike. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He is the one. I'm sorry. It's been a while since I read Jiren. He specifically does not allow himself to be hit with double strike. So he can only take 1 life at a time, specifically as long as he has a body that's 30k power or more on the field. And so that is a very powerful ability, plus just big bodies on the board, which Jiren could produce. It was very, very good. He had abilities where he had cards that could when he took a life, he would add a top card of his deck to his life, once per turn. So like he could take a life, so it's drawing a card plus drawing another card, and then he gets to replace that life. Jiren was a brick house of a deck, and is still decent, not great. He's pretty much been put into rogue tier as well. But Jiren did have quite a bit of time where he was pretty consistently meta through sets 3 and set 4, I believe. I don't think he did super well into set 5, being replaced by other red decks. Speaking of other red decks, we have the Son Goku Mini Daima. Basically, this guy, in my opinion, was a better version of the starter deck Goku. Funny enough, he's another starter deck Goku. You're also going to see a trend here where a lot of red leaders were just Goku, which was, unfortunately, something that people kind of got a little annoyed about. So the fact that we got so many Gokus is one thing, but this leader actually was very good for a while, and I actually played this, even though it's not a blue leader, I did play it for a while and really enjoyed it. It basically you could minus something on board by 5k, as well as giving yourself, one of your battle cards +5. So essentially created a 10k difference, which was really good, forcing your opponent to get rid of, 2 cards at the very least, 10k and a 5k, or even a super combo to protect one of their cards. I liked it. It was a really cool leader. It got even one of the special gold card reprints for tournaments. And yeah, I think this leader was very, very good. Unfortunately, it did kind of get overshadowed by the next leader and hasn't really seen much play in probably since set 5 at the least. I'm sorry, not this one, the next leader. But this leader is also very interesting. Once again, it is another red Goku for set 4, Ultra Limit, and this was UI Goku. Now, this leader is very particular. It doesn't have an ability to draw, and that was one of its major weaknesses. But if you were a big-brained player, you could actually do pretty well with this leader. This leader basically had once per turn to activate battle, you could choose a battle card, and this card's power became the same as that card's power for the battle. So if you had a very big card, or if your opponent has a very big battle card, once per turn, you're able to just match that power. So if your opponent swings in with a 50k body, you're able to copy that 50k body's power, and then you can just combo a 5k right over. It was such a great ability. It's basically free super combo, free combo power once per turn, once per battle. This could be used for offensive and defensive purposes. Unfortunately, though, this leader really didn't pop off. It was just, I don't know. I think this is where we're getting fatigue. It's another Universe 7 red Goku. A lot of people were tired of seeing it. And then the leader's ability was just very weird. Like, it sounded great. It is a great ability, but it just didn't come up as often as people thought it would. And you really didn't see this leader pop off in the meta too much. You maybe saw a couple spots here and there, but it was too complicated of a red leader, if that makes sense, for a lot of red players. So they didn't really see, this leader didn't see a lot of play, and it still doesn't see a lot of play to this day. It's a very pretty leader. it's super unique, but it really didn't do much in the meta. The set 5 leader is the one I was talking about, though. From set 5, a new adventure. I forgot the name for a second. This leader basically was another red Goku. This one being Super Saiyan Daima on the front and back side. This is basically just a more aggressive version of the starter deck Daima Goku, with this one being once per turn to activate main. You can choose a battle card with Daima in its card name in your battle area and gets plus 10k power for the turn. Now, this one is not as generically good as the other Gokus were, but this one, if you built the Daima deck, which at the time, there's a lot of great Daima cards that are being printed, this was a very aggressive deck, especially combining it with the red Glorio, which was a 4-cost 25k body that swung twice, as well as minusing your opponent's leader by 15. I believe it's like 10 or 15k, and then you put this Goku, put that extra 10k on top of the Daima, the Glorio, and then you're swinging like 35k twice. It was incredibly aggressive, and this deck's still pretty aggressive to this day. It's just, once again, in comparison to other red leaders that are currently out, he's just not as good. And there was a debate for a while between this leader and the starter deck Daima Goku, of which is better. I personally like the starter deck Daima Goku more, but Super Saiyan Daima is still very, very good. And, this could see some more action later on the line if they keep printing red Daima cards, which I have a feeling they probably will. But keep on the lookout for this leader. I think it's still pretty good, but it is rogue at best at this point. Set 6, we had the Departure. This was the first, non-Goku, non-tournament power, red leader we've gotten in a while. It is Android 18. It is also the first female leader we got in the game, which made a lot of female players happy. I did see that on X, Twitter, whatever it's called nowadays. But this leader, upon launch, I'm not going to lie, it really needed to rely on its support. And the support in set 6 specifically was not the greatest. Now, a lot of people did say this leader is probably the worst leader in the game, myself included. But there were some people that defended it, and some people that showed this leader does have chops if you play it correctly with the right deck. And this did do okay, but overall, in comparison to other red decks, this was just not even remotely on anybody's on anybody's radar. It just didn't do great until the Manga booster came out, and it got a lot of good support. Once that support came in, this leader actually shot up to be pretty competitive for a while, with the red Android archetype being pretty darn good. And I would say this leader is still pretty good if it wasn't for the fact that in the same Manga booster, they released another red leader that just happened to do much better. And that, of course, is the current scourge of the meta, Red Cell. Cell is an absolute monstrosity. I don't like playing against this deck. It's not fun. It is an incredibly aggressive deck, incredibly consistent. You're drawing a lot of cards, you're removing pieces off the board, you're playing your big bodies pretty early, and it is just rinse and repeat. The deck is incredibly powerful. Manga Booster was an incredibly good set because it produced 2 incredibly good leaders. I'm saying that term a lot, my bad. And since Manga Booster 1, we're about to get Manga Booster 2 and then set 8 next month, and this leader is still the best leader in the game, tied with the Kid Buu leader. But some people are going to tell you that Red Cell is still the better of the 2. Leader is busted. Straight up. It got, a lot of great cards. It specifically just in Manga Booster, even got another, some support in set 7, but nobody really uses that support anyway. This leader is just, it's great. It's cheap. It's not very expensive to build. And that that's why I feel like it's one of the reasons why it's succeeding so well and why a lot of people play it. It's cheap, it's powerful, it gets the job done. And Cell is a fan favorite character. The deck is just fantastic. I don't know if it's going to be dethroned anytime soon. We will have to see if Bandai initiates any type of ban list, but it is just a very, very good leader, and still, it's up here as one of the best decks, if not the best deck in the game currently. In Set 7, Red released a brand new leader, once again going back to Daima, being Glorio DA. Now, this was super cool because, once again, it's a different character that's not Goku or Tournament of Power related, but we did return to Daima. And what's super cool about this set is that they reintroduced the Evolve skill from Dragon Ball Masters. They finally brought it over to Fusion World, and people were pretty excited to see it. It unfortunately did not do great. Glorio really hasn't made any type of impact in the current meta, and at best it is a fun locals deck. It relies too heavily on sequencing certain cards, and I don't know. It didn't have the proper support it needed to stand on its own. But unfortunately, when you have a choice to play a red deck, you're going to play Cell because Cell is just doing better overall in the meta. But this had a lot of really cool cards and a lot of really cool ideas. We just need to see some support in the future for Red Daima Evolve. Not really much else to talk about it. Glorio just really isn't a good deck at this particular time. It's okay, but not great. And of course, talking about the current future of Red, we're getting Manga Booster in less than a week. It's going to be officially released in 6 days. We have Future Trunks. Future Trunks is one of my favorite characters in Dragon Ball, and I love this era for Future Trunks. I love Yaphet, I love the fit, I love the aura. It's great. The problem is, I've heard the deck is not good. I haven't not had a chance to play it with it, but from people I do know that have been testing it, it's missing something. It once again focuses on Evolve, but this time specifically on the archetype of the Hyperpala Time Chamber, the chamber in the anime where Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, and Gohan entered to get 1 year of training in order to fight Cell. It's a really cool concept and a really cool archetype, except it just isn't great. You need to see certain cards very early, and if you don't see them, you lose momentum and you end up losing. There are some great cards in the set, but unfortunately the leader is not able to utilize them the best that they could be. Now, with Set 8 releasing next month, we are getting Son Gohan Adolescence, which is the Gohan from the Broly's Second Coming movie. He looks to be incredibly powerful, actually, being able to swing very, very big. And a lot of the cards just seem to have great synergy with each other. So beyond that, I mean, Gohan just looks like he swings really big. And it's just focusing on the Son family, Goku and Gohan and Goten. I'm here for it. It looks cool. It looks to have a lot more going for it than Trunks, unfortunately, but we will see once the Manga Booster 2 officially drops to see if maybe there's any salvaging this, or maybe the reports are wrong and Trunks is actually a pretty good leader. But we have to wait to see that. Now, this is fun because Red has the most banned cards in the set, and it is the only color that has a limited card that we will go over in just 1 sec. But we did mention it earlier. These 2 cards were banned: 1-drop Roshi and 4-drop Ribrian Double Striker. Roshi just allowed the top 2 players to, once per turn, take a life, so you couldn't starve them out. You couldn't just not attack their life because they played Roshi. They were just going to take that life anyway. Plus, the next time you use an extra, the red extra, it will cost 1 less red to play. So basically, you couldn't do anything. You couldn't starve them, so you had to attack them. But if you attack them, you were just doing exactly what they wanted you to do, which was help them awaken super quickly. So Roshi, unfortunately, had to go. There's no exception. Ribrian was also Top 2's only boss card they would play to secure the win. Being able to play this guy, play Ribrian for free with the Kefla, and then they would, or even with the leader ability, just play Ribrian, drop Glimpse of Power, Glimpse, and then they would just swing incredibly big Double Strike. They would do that every time, and it would always work because you couldn't stop it. It was so good. So, of course, Ribrian had to be banned. Good riddance. These cards are overpowered, in my opinion. So, Ribrian's not awful, but it's the fact that she was a 4-cost Double Strike, which at the time is the cheapest Double Strike. I still think it is the cheapest Double Strike option we have in the game. Kefla is the one limited card we have in the game. You can only run 1 copy of this card. This is a permanent. If your leader's awakened, this card gets +5 power. So this basically becomes a 25k body. On play, draw 1 card, then play up to 1 battle card with a cost of 3 or less and turn them into power. So you play this off your leader ability, so you play it for cheap, and then you would play another card off of it. So for very cheap amounts of energy, you'd be getting 2 cards. And there were so many great tournament of power choices that it just once you, if you got rid of Kefla, you know, if your opponent saw like 2 Keflas, like it was game over. Like it was just too good. Too damn good. Good riddance. Card can stay banned. Stay limited. It's super good. It really doesn't need to be unlimited in my opinion. But hey guys, that'll do it for the history of red decks. This one might be a little longer than the last one. The Reds had a very thorough history in this game. Red's been incredibly overpowered, incredibly underwhelming. It's been the top and bottom of the game, and it's still, as of right now, the best color in the game. It's a great color to play for those who are just starting the game because it's very simple. It's just swing fast, swing big. But let me know what you think about the history of red in the comments down below. Let me know what color you would like me to do next, and hit that like button if you like the video, and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all future videos. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care now.